I have traded with a lot of different prop firms. Some of them good, some of them not so good. But recently, I've found one that I actually feel like is built for traders. They have very fair rules, very clear, and that is Lucid Trading. So today, I'm going to break down the details of their different account options. I'm going to break down the details of how you actually get payouts, and then I'm going to share why I personally have been enjoying trading with them. And if you do decide to check them out for yourself, you can use my discount code Krista, Krista, and that'll give you the best discounts that they have available at the time. And the link is in the description below. Without further ado, let's dive in. Diving into their website, the first thing to address, I know a lot of people are worried about new prop firms. Are they legit? Are they going to go under? They already have $2 million in payouts. They have 5,000 plus traders and growing every single day. And their payout speed is quick. Like average time is 15 minutes. So gotta love that. Options for trading platforms. They do have Project X, which is my personal favorite. But they do have a couple of other options as well. Getting into their account types and then their payouts specifically, that's what I'm going to be covering here. So there's two different paths you can take. You can take the evaluation route, which is called their test, their Lucid Test. And once you pass the eval, it goes into their Pro account. Or you can buy a straight to funded direct account. So I'm going to go through both of those. The Lucid Test first is you can do a 50K, 100K, or 150K option. I am just going to be doing the 50K just to streamline this video and kind of be able to give you some examples, but adjust the numbers depending on the account that you want to purchase and go with. So the cool thing about the test accounts is it's a one-time fee. There's no monthly recurring fee. Like if you don't pass within 30 days, you have to pay a reactivation fee or anything like that. It's a one-time fee. And then if you blow the account, there is a reset fee, which is less than the activation fee. And then the kicker is there's no activation fee. So the price on these is really good. And they run discounts too. Currently, they're running a 40% off discount. Sometimes it's 45, 30, depending on the discount. But you can usually get a test account for around $90 to $100 for the 50K account and then no activation fee. So the price is really good. So the profit targets are pretty standard. $3,000 profit target with a $2,000 max loss limit. And then there is a daily loss limit of $1,200. Some people complain about that. I personally don't mind. I'm not going to try to risk more than that on an account anyway. And then it's 1 day to pass. So you don't have like a minimum of 5 days trading, 35% consistency rule, anything like that. 1 day to pass, no consistency rule, anything like that. One thing that's really cool about these two is the day you pass, immediately, within about 2 minutes, your Pro account can be activated. So you can actually start trading within the first day. So let's say you sign up for a test account today and you happen to hit a great trade and you pass the account today, you can activate your Pro account today and actually trade that Pro account and potentially have your first day count towards your funded payout option. So this is the test account. Once you pass the test account, you move over to the Lucid Pro. And in here, I'll get into the payout rules specifically here in a little bit. But you have a 35% consistency in these. Still same $2,000 max loss limit with the 50K account. It's an end of day drawdown, which I love. You don't have to mess with intraday. Same fixed daily loss limit, $1,200. So very similar rules to the test account. And then in terms of payouts, which I'll get into more detail, like I mentioned, you just trade a minimum of 5 days, and then you can take a payout from there. So potentially, you can get to a payout in these accounts in a minimum of 5 days. This is obviously if you trade perfectly, but like I said, you could sign up for the test account today, pass it today, and activate your Pro account, and then trade that today. You have 5 green days, and you could qualify for a payout. So very fair rules, in my opinion, and a good setup for traders to be actually able to take a payout. So I feel like Lucid is very good with making rules that are fair to traders. And actually, I feel like it's built for traders. So this is the eval to funded kind of route that you can take. They also do have a straight to funded option, which is their Lucid Direct accounts. So with these, they only have a 50K option or a 150K option. They also do have run discounts on these as well, anywhere from 30 to 50%, depending on what's going on. With the 50K account, same profit target. You hit a minimum of $3,000 to get to a payout. Max loss limit is $2,000. So pretty standard across the board there. And there is a 20% consistency rule on these. So just a little sidebar, my personal opinion is I think going the test route to eval, or from the test route to the pro account, is actually the better option, because the test is very fast. You could potentially pass it in one day. So you're not sitting in like some prop firms, you know, they have like a minimum 5 days trading or minimum 7 days of trading. You don't have to sit in the eval phase for very long, and it's cheaper. And then you also get a 35% consistency instead of 20% like you do in the direct. So some people love the straight to funded. I think these are great accounts, but my personal preference is to do the Lucid Test to Lucid Pro option. All right, so let's get into how you actually get payouts in these two options. So first, we'll do the Lucid Pro. So this is after you've passed the Lucid Test and now you have a Lucid Pro activation. The profit split, you get the first $10,000, 100% of the first $10,000 that you make. And then after that, it moves to a 90-10 split. So more than fair, in my opinion. A lot of prop firms have a profit split from the very beginning. In order to be eligible for a payout in these pro accounts, you have to have a minimum of 5 green days. And that depends on the account size that you have. But if you're trading the 50K account, a green day counts as $100. So a minimum of 5 days trading, and 5 of those days have to be green. So it might be longer than 5 days if you have a couple of red days in there. And then, like I said, the consistency percentage is 35%. So, and there are flip days allowed. So let's say after 4 days, you've hit your consistency target, you've hit your profit target. On the 5th day, you can just trade a little bit and hit your $100 minimum goal to count as your 5th trading day. And then you can request a payout at that point. So that's kind of what I would consider as a flip day. There's no profit target necessarily in this account, but you do have to trade to a minimum of a $2,000 buffer in the 50K account before you're able to take a payout. And that's just simply to avoid you blowing the account. If you request a payout and you request the entire balance of your account, they just want you to build out a little bit of a buffer. So it has to be at least $2,000 over the 50K account size. So you have to trade to at least $52,000. In terms of the payout minimums, on the 50K account, your first 2 payouts, you can take $1,500 out. And they've actually updated these numbers. So as of August 17th, the first account payouts are $1,500. Once you move up to payouts 3 and 4, it's $2,000. And then after that, it's $2,500. So this is really nice that they're giving you that extra incentive as you're starting to prove yourself as a profitable trader. You can increase your payout size. And that, again, also allows you to kind of create a buffer. So what I personally would do is always try to leave yourself a $2,000 buffer. Again, if you're using the 50K account. But if you're going for this max payout in payout number 1 and you want to pull out $1,500, then I would recommend trading to a minimum of $3,500 so you can leave yourself $2,000 left in the account after you've taken that withdrawal. So that's how I would recommend it. And then after each payout, these thresholds, they reset. So that 35% consistency that we talked about, you have to trade to that again for the next 5 days. And you have to get 5 more green days of a minimum of $100. All right, so that is the Lucid Test to Lucid Pro option. Now, if you do the Lucid Direct, it's just a little bit different. There is the same thing. The first $10,000, you get 100% of that, and then it moves into the 90-10 profit split. And then minimum trading days. You have to trade at least 8 separate days to qualify for a payout. That doesn't mean they need to be green days like in the Lucid Pro account. These just need to be 8 separate days. They could be green days, they could be red days, just 8 days of logging a trade. And then there is a 20% consistency rule on your payout. All right, so you can check out the rules for the consistency calculations if you're not sure how to do that. But basically, you just take your total account balance and divide by 5, and your single biggest day can't be more than 20%. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully I didn't confuse anyone there. This account does have a payout profit goal. In the Lucid Pro account, there wasn't necessarily a payout profit goal. You just had to trade to at least the 2K buffer. And this one, you have to hit the $3,000 minimum before requesting a payout, but your payouts are a little bit higher. So payout number 1 is $2,000 for the first 3 payouts. And then after that, once you get to payout 4, it moves up to $2,500. So the rules are a little bit tighter. Like you have a 20% consistency instead of 35% consistency, but you can pull out bigger payouts. Again, I would recommend still leaving a $2,000 buffer. So I personally think this is a little bit tight. If you were to trade to a $3,000 profit target and then you pull out the maximum of $2,000, that only leaves you $1,000 in drawdown. If you're planning on taking the max payout, I would personally recommend trading to about $4,000 just so that you don't leave yourself with a really small account. All right, so that is the gist of these accounts. Again, I think that the rules are super fair. It's a quick path to payouts. Hopefully that made sense for you guys. And again, if you are looking to trade with Lucid, use code Krista. The best discounts are available with that, and that helps me, supports me, and I appreciate it. Other than that, comment below if you have any questions or if you are starting to trade with Lucid, and let me know what you guys think.